Diana DeVille from KNAC.com, and we are here at the Inside Metal film screening here in Hollywood.
It was the 80s, come on.
All the rumors are true.
Okay.
That's the way I would say
own it.
Anything you ever heard about it.
Okay, awesome. We can't wait to see you. Congratulations. Yes. What did you think about that? Awesome. Are you excited to see the film?
So what do you think about the movie so far?
The movie's great. You know, I mean, I knew it would be from seeing part one, so.
Right, so this was what you expected.
Yeah. No, we knew it was going to be good.
How is it being here today?
I loved it. Actually, it brought back a lot of memories and a lot of craziness that we lived. I can't believe we survived all that.
I can watch it forever.
Rock on!
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
It's obviously more cohesive and I enjoyed it very much because a lot of these people are my friends, and these were the roots of the scene before I arrived, and I came to town in 1993, so I guess I missed a lot of this. I mean, most of this.
We were truly blessed, definitely. We got lucky. It takes a lot of luck and being at the right place at the right time, and we had the right songs and the right band members, and it worked out great for us.
I think it's important that these stories are told and kept for the future. And obviously there's a lot of people that enjoys the stories and want to hear them. So
There's a lot of metalheads out there.
no, and even I, who's been around for a long time, get reminded of a lot of stuff, you know. So it's just fun to watch the story.
I feel really very much affiliated with it, you know. So it's a lot of fun to hear my friends and colleagues talk about some of the stuff that I didn't know much about, like all the little details in the backgrounds of who was in what band and who came first and all that stuff, you know.
What are you working on these days?
Right now, I'm working with an Icelandic band called Sigurd Rós.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm also working on my next movie, who's gonna start shooting this fall.
Very nice. We can't wait to see it. What is it about?
It's about Norwegian black metal.
Sounds like fun.
Give me a little insight on the movie. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. Such a cool behind-the-scenes stuff you don't hear. Good stories from the people who lived it and were there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. A lot of my good friends were in the movie, and super fun to see them all tell them the story of how it really went down.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you have some flashbacks from that
I did.
period when you were coming up with those
Yeah,
bands?
yeah, I did.
Great.
What was it like to see this rockumentary?
It's kind of a mind fry because it's like reliving the 80s real quick.
Come on. So tell me a little bit, how did you like the movie tonight?
I thought it was obviously a lot of work that Bob's put into it. I thought getting everybody together was great. It's a great insight into what happened, you know, in the scene, and I think it's great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it.
Makes you reflect and going, God, we were a part of something pretty cool, a cool era. When we were doing it, we didn't think about it. You know, we were just doing it because
people you would have had to have been there, you know, to know what it was like, and so this is the closest thing to it being there.
I thought the movie was great.
Right.
Great, yeah.
What was your favorite part? What really struck you about the movie tonight?
You know, it's hard to say. There's so many facets. Everybody brought something really good and really interesting and really pertinent to the table. So it's the sum of the parts. It's not just this. It's not just this.
Right.
It's everybody's contribution, and Bob was able to bring it all together and focus it.
What were your thoughts on hearing some of the stories and having been around during that time? What was your sort of perspective?
I was amazed that most of the people were telling the truth.
What really struck you about the movie? What stood out to you?
I think he captured the details a lot. There's a lot of cool details that I didn't know about, and I like hearing the little stories. And I think Monty Pittman had the coolest line in the whole movie, but you have to watch the movie to see it.
A whole nother life that's never going to happen again. So it was really special to be able to relive part of it.
LA had the scene then,
Sure.
which not being in LA at the time, but hearing the stories and now seeing this movie and actually just, you know, getting it first, I think it's great.
Loved it, all the descriptions and the stories and the tales, and another thing that I found really cool was the camaraderie. You know, there was a unspoken camaraderie between the bands back then.
The unsung hero of that whole program with Steeler and making it possible for Yngwie to play with Steeler was Keel. She busted her ass with the State Department and went through a lot of red tape to make sure he could get his green card so he could play on the album.
Was there any big surprises to you there, or did you know most of the inside scoop?
No, I learned a lot actually. It was really good, and I liked the way it was edited, and I liked the music that he had into it.
You know, I was so proud when they talked about that in the movie. You know, that L.A. became the epicenter of rock and roll, and it really was. I don't think we realized it at the time, but
well, I think like they cemented something in that was so amazing and so cool with this whole style of music.
Awesome. I'm really happy to be here. Looking forward to seeing the documentary. I've known Bob for a while. He's done a lot of great work, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this next masterpiece.
Some people said they felt it was like a reunion kind of feeling by watching it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it brings back a lot of memories, you know, for those of us who can remember them. But, you know, the 80s was a special time in LA. I mean, you know, hard rock and metal started on the streets of Sunset and Doheny, you know, and you know, the amount of people showing up night after night, and those bands still being around to this day, you know, I mean, a lot to be said about that.
It's interesting to me to be here tonight and to have been in the Bay Area for, you know, all of the 80s scene, but we, you know, played down here a lot. Our record companies were down here, you know, for Laz Rocket, and how many of these bands that we played with that were in this particular film, which was really cool to revisit. And it's just, it starts to jar memories that perhaps I've forgotten. But, you know, to see Gina Zamparelli here.
He called me and asked me, can you get interviews with Mandy Lyon, with Stephen Pearcy, with the guys from Wasp? And so we did those interviews together, and then I started promoting this movie for him. And I just felt in seeing it that this is probably the first and perhaps the only comprehensive movie that really details the 80s music scene from the people who lived it. And I think it's just really special, not just now for all of us who have lived through this, but for generations to come.
I was the original manager and co-creator of the band Slayer.
We love Slayer.
And I was the original manager of Exodus post Kirk Hammett. After Kirk left, I took over Exodus and managed them for a number of years after that, and actually brought Slayer to the Bay Area for their first few shows. And we were actually just discussing one night after one of the shows, one of the most complete destructions of a hotel room you've ever seen.
Band Heathen, Vicious Rumors, Metal Church, Lizzy Borden, and then like currently I'm playing with a band called Westfield Master. We just finished a 6-week tour with Seven Dust and Trivium. And I'm also in another band called Attica 7, which is kind of an all-star lineup. It's Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard and Rusty Coons from Sons of Anarchy.
Covered it so amazingly, you know, he really got in there and showed so many interviews that were so in-depth. He got to everybody he needed to, and I think you learned a lot. You know, it's the bands that came to the surface, and a lot of them that you really didn't hear about, but that were in that underground scene.
What do you think about the film so far?
It's great. It's great. Glad that they're able to chronicle the history of the LA metal scene and really connects a lot of the dots. It explains who's who and who played with who before, and it's nice that somebody's able to compile all the information.
No, absolutely. It was such a special time to be a part of. So, you know, to actually see it, you know, on a screen, to see your life flash before you is pretty special. So I give it to Bob for really being able to capture the moment.
Do you think this is important for the metal fans and industry?
Yeah, of course. I mean, history is always important, you know, because you can remind people about how things went down and stuff. It's, you know, everyone has selective memories, but when someone puts it on a, you know, in film like this, it's great because you can really compile all the facts together.
You know, it's a myth that what they say about Hollywood being so competitive and stuff. To be honest, I mean, I'm born and raised, I'm an LA native, and I've been in this town my whole life. and it's more support and family and community more than anything else. And that's why we're here. That's why people from all over the world come to LA and come to Hollywood for music.
Are you excited to see the second film?
Absolutely, I can't wait.
Still have some Spandex in your doors at home?
Yeah, I may have a few laying around. Maybe the pink can of Aquanet as well. No. You never know. That's the funny thing. When Lizzy Borden, we were very, like, they caught on it in the film, we were very, very big guys, you know, very big in wardrobe, but we played true metal, so we were kind of in between everybody. So.
We need a Spandex mayor.
I can't wear that.
I'll let him borrow some of my Rob Halford wardrobe.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It's, you know, I'm nostalgic for that era. You know, it really took place just before I got here. So I never got to the Starwood, and those sounded like some really great times to me, but we definitely had some good times of our own.
It's fantastic. I was just telling these guys that, you know, I came from the East Coast when this was all brewing. So the bands like Y&T and London, I didn't learn until I got here in the mid-'80s. So what this film is doing is enlightening everybody as to how long it's been going on and how important it really is to the whole genre. So it's a big thing. Darren?
Yeah, I mean, Bob's done a great job just really teaching you. I mean, for people that, if you saw this and didn't know about that era, it's really bringing it out, really in a real way. I mean, I was down here during that whole period, had the hair and had it all, and doing the Sunset Strip, and I mean, it's just such a great time, and he's really captured it very well in this movie. So definitely something.
To get a film produced and premiered and screened and look, a year later, look how many people still haven't seen it and are coming out to see it. It's cool.
Well,
You enjoyed it so
far? Yes, I love it, man. Good job, Bob. He's been a friend of ours for many years, very close friend, and still is. So I got to shout it out to Bob. Yeah, Bob. Yes, you rock, brother.
What I love about it is so complete. I mean, Bob's really done his homework. He lived that scene back in the day. I mean, you know, we all did, obviously, but I mean, it's just when that whole thing was brewing, as you said, I was working as a roadie, so I got to see that stuff up close, and I'm seeing all these, you know, videos of things from Gazaris and stuff, things that don't exist anymore. Some of the clubs are gone. Obviously, most of the bands are gone. There's a few remnants around here tonight.
Just the parallels of the entire metal scene around the United States, you know, just the 80s and the 90s, something that can never be duplicated. And it just dawned on me, as usual, I need a visual learning thing of how blessed I was to be part of it and to still be standing here.
Hi, I'm here with Robert Sexton. How are you?
Never better. I had so much fun at this movie. It brought me back to the time when I moved to Los Angeles. All great bands, all great memories. Ones that I didn't black out from, if that makes any sense. And that's it. Bob did such a great job. It was a wonderful time.
You're from London.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I just got done viewing the long version of both DVDs, and it was great.
You loved it?
I love it. You know, this medium is, you know, it's one of those things where it has to be kept alive.
It just like totally took me down memory lane once again. It was the final version was great. It was edited really nicely, and it was nice to have the narrative by John Bush, and it really just covered everything. It covered the whole, you know, from everything that I remember from the early 80s to, you know, into the 90s when it started to fade. I mean, they really did a very good, thorough job of reporting.
I wish I could have been out here for those years. I was in Detroit at the time, and that's when it was Seduce and the Almighty Strut and Weapons and everybody else. So it was a great scene there too, but it would have been more fun out here. Bob did a great job on the movie though. Fantastic.
Well, yes, because a lot of them are here. A lot of them were the premiere the other night, which you guys were at, and I get to talk to you that night. But it was, you know, it's pretty much like seeing old, you know, your friends the other day. It's just been a long time. It's over 20 years since we've been, you know, in the same room.
It's so funny how horror films and heavy metal goes so hand in hand.
It does.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I think we need to go back and watch the second half.
We too. Let's go. We're going to go
Stay
watch
tuned.
See you later.
it.